Hello my loves, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, but before we hop into it, I want us to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Audible. If you have not heard of Audible before, they're essentially a huge online platform where you can listen to so many different audiobooks. They also have meditations on there, they have podcasts, they have so much. So I highly recommend checking them out. I find them so convenient because I love to listen to audiobooks. For example, when I'm getting ready, when I'm cooking dinner, when I'm on a really long drive, I love to just turn on one of my favorite audiobooks and be able to listen to that. It makes it so convenient. And again, they also have meditations and podcasts on there. So this app is like 10 out of 10. And the audiobooks that I personally recommend are Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. That book is life-changing. It is so digestible, so easy to listen to, and it is something that will enhance your life experience very much. If you're into anything law of attraction, then I have some recommendations for you. Anything by Esther and Jerry Hicks, all of their Abraham Hicks books, I'll have all of them listed on the screen here. I have listened to every single one of them on Audible and I love them. They are essentials for manifestation and they're so in depth and I've learned so much by listening to those. Those are just top 10 essentials for me. Also the audiobook Atomic Habits by James Clear. That one is very good, especially if you're wanting to change your habits in your life and really change around your routine and end certain habits and start new healthy habits and you're having maybe a tough time doing that. This book makes a very clear and concise way of rearranging your life and actual practical ways of ending old habits and also beginning new habits so that you stick to them and permanently shift your life. So that audiobook is also really amazing, very life-changing. Highly recommend going to check it out. And with that being said, if you want to try out a 30-day free trial of Audible, you can head to my link audible.com/gemgoddess or text gemgoddess to 500-500. And again, if you want that 30-day free trial, you can head to my link audible.com/gemgoddess or text gemgoddess to 500-500. And thanks again to Audible for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's hop right into today's pick a card reading. Hello my loves, what's up, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading and this one is all about blessings that are coming into your life. So we're gonna try to get as much detail as possible on which blessings are gonna be coming into your life very soon. So with that being said, if you are new to pick a card readings, I'm gonna give you a quick little rundown of how they work. So over here we have group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that is linked to your specific card. And then you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about the blessings that are coming into your life very soon. So with that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into today's video. All right, so group number 1, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be a reading all about those blessings coming into your life. So let's hop right into it. All right, so group 1, here's what we have for you. We have the 5 of Cups, we have the 5 of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and then the 7 of Pentacles here. So the blessings that are coming your way. You are about to go through a major shift in how you feel and your mentality, your emotional and mental state is about to completely transform. Your energy is about to transform because over here at the beginning, this is kind of like what we're starting off as. So this could be a representation of maybe what you're currently going through, how you're currently feeling. And this would be that we feel out of alignment emotionally. You know, maybe we're focused more on the stresses that are in our life because as you can see, he's looking at like all the cups that have fallen over and it's kind of just like he feels like his energy's kind of like been getting taken away from him either by like other tasks and obligations that are coming up, or all of a sudden we have more bills than we expected, or like all of a sudden we're just more tired and there's just so much else going on that we don't really want to focus on. You know, it seems like things are maybe kind of like not in alignment, basically. It just feels like other things are falling out of our lives. Maybe certain things are sort of not going the way that we wanted them to and stuff like that. The 5 of Pentacles over here basically signifies that there's almost like an ending that's coming to this where we're kind of like removing ourselves from certain situations, and even though maybe it doesn't feel the best to remove ourselves from certain situations, we know that we just got to do what we got to do. So I really see this sort of transition happening, and 5s always are connected to change. They signify change coming. So fives change up our lives unexpectedly. It's all about unexpected change. And at first, this change can feel not so good, right? Like it can feel a little bit like this guy. He looks a little sad. He's not really feeling his best. This is probably not his ideal situation, you know? But the blessing that's about to come for you, again, is this massive shift. Like it starts off a little small, and it starts off kind of like maybe there's a spark of an idea that we get, because the Page of Cups is a representation of maybe a message or an idea or a small opportunity that we get, but it starts off as sort of just like in your head at first. Like there's an opportunity, we haven't acted on it quite yet, but there's like this small spark of like hope or inspiration coming in, and it's actually, it makes us almost in a fun sort of mood where we kind of feel like a new beginning. Pages signify those new beginnings, new chapters opening, where maybe we haven't taken the action yet, but the new spark is again there. He's taking his cup, he put it in the ocean, and he literally got a fish in his cup. He's like, wait a minute, that was unexpected. Like I thought I was just, you know, filling up my cup, you know, because we had the spilled over cups. Now he's like taking his cup in the ocean, seeing what he gets, and he gets a whole fish, and he's like, well, this is cool, you know, like that was unexpected. So there's something that you're going to be doing where maybe you're like, you know, trying to fill up your own cup, which means like you're trying to find some more emotional fulfillment by doing other things that maybe please you, and focusing your energy there. And through doing that, you're actually going to get a new opportunity and a surprise. This is a surprise coming in, like an unexpected outcome of something where now we're feeling kind of like more emotionally excited. Maybe we're like, you know, doing something, and in the midst of doing something, we get into a better mood, and that better mood, all of a sudden, we start thinking of things outside of the box. Page of Cups is when we think of things outside of the norm, right? Because like he gets a fish in his cup. So you're thinking of things that normally you wouldn't think of, and this is going to shift you and inspire you into a new direction. We have the Queen of Wands after that, which the Queen of Wands is a very inspirational card. She feels inspired. She feels like she has energy. She feels like she's on top of the world, and she feels like she's in control of her environment. The black cat is also super significant in this card because it signifies that all of a sudden she's integrated her past experiences that maybe were kind of blah, but they're actually benefiting her now, right? Because black cats are usually like bad luck, but she's like taken her past misfortunes and now she's enjoying them. All of a sudden she's like, you know, they've become a blessing to her. So you are taking whatever this was and shifting your whole experience, and these situations are all of a sudden going to be your biggest blessings, and you are going to be more in love with yourself because you're going through some major transformations because of this. The sunflower is also significant because this signifies you are opening up. Rather than being a closed off flower, you are opening up, and the sunflower is of course connected to the sun, which signifies your authenticity, being really open, being vibrant, having high energy, and kind of like attracting to you the experiences that you desire, and it's like you attract them in your experience rather than having to go chase. We also have the Knight of Cups right here. So I think you're getting back into emotional alignment to where you feel really good, and the Knights are all about kind of quests, and the Queens are all about kind of nurturing, right? So we have the idea, we're nurturing the idea, we're nurturing ourselves, getting ourselves feeling good, and then all of a sudden we have this like little quest card. So all of a sudden we're taking this idea and we're like, hold on, I can actually kind of do something with this. So you're taking whatever this inspiration is and you're gonna go through a huge change and a huge shift. The Knight of Cups can signify that all of a sudden we're putting more love into ourselves, into who we are. I think that you're also gonna go through like a transformation within maybe even your appearance. So it's like all of a sudden we're attracted to like different style clothes. All of a sudden we want to be brighter. We want to like shine more. We don't want to be closed off. Like this person wore probably a lot of black and like, you know, was a little bit more, not saying that that's what you are, but just as the metaphor to show you, there's going to be some sort of transformation here where all of a sudden it's like you're taking better care of yourself, right? So maybe you're actually like, you know, remembering to like brush your teeth and wash your face and put on moisturizer and like do something to like, you know, make yourself feel better. The Knight of Cups can talk about your appearance and just taking better care of yourself, and the Queen of Wands can as well. So we're taking better care of ourselves, we're feeling more vibrant, and becoming healthier, and we're like inspired to do so. It doesn't feel like an obligation or a task to do that. All of a sudden we just feel like inspired to do that, and there's this massive shift coming. And the Knight of Cups can also be that, again, we're wearing our heart on our sleeves and we're leading with our emotions, because he holds the cup out in front of him, signifying that he's leading forward and moving forward from his emotions. His emotions are guiding him somewhere. So you're going to have this strong intuition and strong gut feeling that's going to be guiding you forward. There's a manifestation that hasn't worked out in the past. There's something that you've been wanting and it's like, well, where is it? It hasn't happened yet. I don't understand where it is. Like, it hasn't been coming into my life. So how do I make it come into my life? This is a pivotal point. The universe is actually making you go through some big changes, because then all of a sudden we have the Seven of Pentacles over here, which signifies your seeds that you've planted. So your intentions, your desires that you've planted. You're all of a sudden on the quest, and it's like the cup is like watering these seeds. So your emotions are pretty much going to be watering these seeds, because they're going to be leading you. You know, your gut feelings, your emotions really guide us, right? They help us make certain choices, because we only ever react to certain things based on our emotions. So anytime somebody says something to us, anytime we hear something, anytime we have an idea, our emotions will tell us whether to act on that idea or not. And if we're not in a good emotional state, of course, we're not going to act on pretty much almost any idea. It's just, we're going to be in reaction mode and things are going to seem more bleak, right? But all of a sudden, when we get into a good emotional state, that water then feeds us. Our emotions then guide us in the proper directions, rather than hindering us and stopping us and putting walls up. Both emotions serve us, because our emotions tell us what not to do and what to do. So if your emotions have been in a negative kind of state lately, it is because our emotions are trying to tell us that we're not on the right path and that change needs to happen, which is why we have the fives. This is the change that's coming for you. And it's going to shift your emotional state, which will then guide you in the proper direction. And then we're going to be feeding our desires. And the Seven of Pentacles signifies that our seeds are growing. Look at her. She's just like looking, and she's so proud of it. She's like, oh my God, it's actually happening. It's actually coming into my life. I see it before me. I see it coming. You know, maybe she can't pick the fruit quite yet, but she can see that it's actually blossoming now. And she's like, oh, it's right there. Ah! It's like you can almost taste it, right? But it's like not quite in your mouth yet, but you can almost taste it, because you can see it finally happening and coming into your life, which this card signifies. Since it is growing, you are going to have that harvest. You are going to be able to pick that fruit. It is coming into your life, but it's because of this massive shift, and the universe has been trying to tell you, like, something that you've been focused on or trying to cling to. Maybe we're trying to cling to the past, for example, but our emotions keep telling us, and our scenarios that keep playing out keep telling us, like, hey, this is the wrong path. We need to shift it a little bit. We need to shift it a little bit. So that shift is coming, because sometimes we resist those shifts, and sometimes we're like, oh no, like, I can make this work out. I can make this like happen, and da 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 da. But the universe keeps over and over like showing us, like, hey, no, I'm trying to get you in the right direction. I'm trying to get you in the right direction, you know. And finally, the universe comes up with like ways to get us to move our butt where we're supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you have to take a cat to the vet, because, you know, maybe your cat, like, I don't know, has like, for example, like an ear infection. They're like, wow, I really wish that would go away. And then you're trying to put your cat in the cage, and they're like, meow, 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 like, I don't want to go in the cage. Ah. And you're like, trust me, I know you don't like the vet, and I know you don't want to go to it, but this is the only way. It's the only way to get rid of your ear infection, which you hate more. So let's just go. You know what I mean? So it's like the universe has been trying to, like, you know, push you to where you need to be, but you've been looking at those things as like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to be experiencing this. Of course, the cat doesn't want to be experiencing that either, but the cat obviously wants to like feel good and get its energy back and like feel its best again. And the universe is like, I'm trying to get you there. It's just go with the flow of it. If you just listen to me, then I'll get you there, you know? So it's like we can't really communicate, and the universe has its own ways of communicating with us, because obviously it can't just like come down and look us straight in the eye and be like, hey, this is what's going on. So yeah, it's kind of like that right now. And we're going to be finally guided into the right direction. And I think this is going to happen very naturally. And so, and it might seem kind of like odd at first. It might seem kind of just like, why is this happening to me? But it's the universe literally like putting you where you need to be. It's like taking you to the ocean, for example, you know? And so it's just like, it's making all of these experiences tip over so that there's this stream of water that's like leading you to the ocean. It's like, please follow the line, follow the water. And then all of a sudden you're just like, fine, okay. And then you leave behind what you were attached to. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, you know, it's right there. And we get our blessings, we get our inspiration, and it's leading us exactly where we've needed to go. So, ooh. Yeah. And then there's something, again, that you've been trying to manifest that is going to, again, blossom into your life. And you're going to be fully led on that path to creating that. The next two cards, we have details, details. This card always reminds me of like Virgo, the perfectionist, right? So I think that for one, we're learning how to tweak the details. We're learning how to tweak it to become more perfect. And so I think the universe right now is leading you on a path to like sort of refine you and make sure that there's no rough edges, basically. And I also think that, yeah, it's like, it's really leading you to exactly what you want. Ooh, yes, okay, total message right now. The reason why a previous manifestation hasn't been working out is because it wasn't to the perfect detail of what the universe has in store for you. Like, you were pretty detail oriented based on your emotions, based on like what you're feeling. There's this feeling like you want exactly this sort of like feeling. And the universe knows exactly what it is that fits that feeling the best. They know to the precise detail. And they're trying to tell you like, hey, the one thing that you've been kind of focusing on right now, or the one thing that you're kind of upset about not happening, it's because that wasn't meant for you. I'm trying to take you to the path of like your manifestation that has everything, right? This one only had 5 pentacles. So it was like, it was almost there, not quite, but the universe is taking you to the thing that's like, has all of your pentacles. It has all 7 of them, for example. So it's like, hey, I have something better. We just need to like go off in this direction and do it this way. Because there's a better path for you. There's something that's more meant for you. That you're gonna love way more. Oh, we also have the card healing the ouch. This makes total sense. So it's like, yeah, something happened over here that's kind of like, meh. This could even be something to deal with, for example, maybe even like your health, you know, taking better care of yourself. This could also be emotionally, all of a sudden we're healing the ouch. Emotionally, physically, mentally, we're healing where we've kind of been hurt. And we're no longer gonna have to feel that anymore. We're no longer gonna have to feel this way. This whole situation is completely transforming into something way better, like way better. I'm also gonna have a sip of tea real quick because tea is so good. All right. We also have the card of monkey, inner child. Don't, look at this. This is like a perfect message for you. Group 1, monkey, inner child, don't take life too seriously. This makes complete sense. Like over here, it looks like we're taking life very seriously. We're looking at the things that didn't work out for us and we're like, why is life so hard? Why am I being thrown these like negative situations, da 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 da. Have more fun with this because the universe is guiding you where you need to be. And if we've been experiencing something that's really confusing to us, the universe is like, I have the answer, but I'm guiding you there. Just trust, just have trust in the universe. And even if you don't understand it, even if you don't know where you're being guided and you're like, well, I don't know what to do or where to go. Trust in the universe because it is bringing you exactly where you need to be, to where you get to heal. And look at like this nurse coming through. So some of you, this could be like something more physical going on for some of you that you're being led to the answer for, or this could be something that's emotional or mental for you that again, they're leading you towards the answer. And the universe is like, have more fun with life and trust, bring out that inner child again that just has full trust in the universe, you know, like, yeah, like for example, when you're a child and you know, like you go through a hard time or something, or like you scrape your knee, but your mom's just like, you know, it's gonna be absolutely fine. Like, I've been through this before, it's gonna be absolutely fine. And you know, as a kid, then we're like, oh, I feel so much better, like, great. So just trust the universe. The universe is telling you right now, hey, it's all gonna be okay. This is part of the journey. You're gonna be led towards beautiful healing, because all of a sudden you're gonna get the answer. You're gonna get this idea, you're gonna get this like wisdom, this knowledge, this unexpected twist, this unexpected turn in your life. The Page of Cups is this unexpected turn. Because we just thought we were going to fill our cup in the ocean, we were just doing our regular day, and then all of a sudden, bam, we get a fish in our cup, and we're like, this is an odd opportunity. And look at the fish, even looks like it's communicating to him and like talking to him, giving him ideas. So it's all of a sudden just like, it's almost that saying like, oh, a little bird told me, like, oh, we got that little message in. So something's coming through where there's a message coming in that's going to help us shift our lives, transform it for the better. The next two cards we have Opening to Discovery. Look at that. We're getting the key. Look at this keyhole and the key. We're getting the key from the dark times into the good times. And look at all this magic that's happening around here. It's literally leading you. You're going to get the key. You're going to get your answer. You're going to be opening up the door that you've been trying to open for so long. And you're going to be discovering what you've been seeking. You are going to be discovering what you've been seeking. It is coming. It is absolutely coming. Have faith, have trust in the universe. We also, ooh, we have the card Willing Release. Look at that. This, remember how we were talking about the seeds, by the way, with the Seven of Pentacles? We're talking about how you're planting seeds and whatnot from your intentions. We have this card, which these are kind of like dandelions turned into these little fluffs or whatever, and they have a bunch of seeds on them, and you can blow them. And they like, you know what I'm talking about. This is kind of like your seeds have been, they're flying right now. They're about to land where they're meant to be. So you're kind of like a seed floating through the wind right now with your intentions. And the universe is like, I'm literally flying you over there. I know that you don't understand right now. I know it doesn't make sense, but you're going to fall exactly where you need to be. This is leading you. And we might not even know where we're going. We might not know, like, okay, where do I go? How do I get there? And the universe is like, no, I got you. Just keep living. Just keep going. I literally got you. It's leading you where you need to be. Just keep trusting the universe. Let your inner child come back out. Don't take life too seriously. Enjoy yourself. Look at him. He's eating good fruits and vegetables, climbing in the trees, just having a good time. The universe is like, just have a good time. I got you. Willing Release. Release this old stuff. Mentally, emotionally, physically, you know, do whatever you can to like just get back to just feeling good, because the universe is like, that's the only key that you need right now, is to just kind of like get back to emotionally feeling good, and the universe is going to literally get you to the key. Okay, the universe has all the details figured out. The universe knows exactly what it is that you desire, and it's trying to guide you to exactly what it is that you desire. The next three cards we have Withdraw. So, you know, maybe there's a time where we're just needing to like take some time to ourselves, recuperate and focus on our own energy, kind of withdraw from our situation, release ourselves emotionally, physically, and mentally from it, and just kind of like recuperate ourselves and not have to focus on it too much. So withdraw from the situations as best you can and just allow yourself to like recuperate. I always look at this card as like meditation as well, because meditation can bring us answers, sometimes dreams. As you can see, the fox is sleeping. So you might get your answers through those means. We also have the card of the Sage. Sage is all about clearing energy, and sage is a great way to clear energy. If you don't have any sage, by the way, highly recommend going to get some and like burning it to cleanse your house, cleanse your energy. It's very powerful at cleansing energy. You can get them at most spiritual shops, just saying. And it's extremely good at cleansing old energies. But all in all, this card also just signifies that you are going through a time of cleansing negative things out of your life. And the universe is helping you cleanse negative stuff from your life so that you don't need to have negativity following you around anymore. The teeth on the card is very interesting because teeth are always connected to self-worth and your self-image. And so we're clearing the old negative self-image that we've maybe had on ourselves, insecurities that we've had, we're saging them out. We're getting rid of those insecurities, getting rid of kind of some of that more negative stuff. Teeth are also like bones, right? Which is connected to Saturn and Capricorn. And this is where we need to have better boundaries in our life. We need to maybe strive for, we need to stop being perfectionists over ourselves and realizing that we are already perfect. So that's going to be another big realization that's kind of like coming through here. We also, compassion. Have some compassion for yourself, my love. Group 1. This is time to have some more self-love. I think that you're going to go on a journey of building a lot more self-love. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take some more cards and just shuffle maybe a couple more cards onto this deck. Ooh, regeneration. You are completely regenerating yourself. You know, through the destruction, like when a forest burns down and the fire comes through and burns everything, it actually renews the soil, because plants get their nutrients obviously from the soil, but they can also deplete the soil of its nutrients. And the way that nature has its way of renewing that so that plants can keep growing is forest fires, or like hot lava, which kind of like melts everything and re-puts in nitrogen into the soil, and like all this stuff. So right now you're going through a regeneration period of your life, and your biggest blessing is the fact that it is going to make you so much better. It's literally going to become your blessing, which is what I was saying in the Queen of Wands with the black cat. But like, as you can see, this tree is now growing, and it looks like a magical tree, mind you. Like, look at that. It has like these blue flowers on it. It looks so vibrant. It's like magical fairy dust is flying in the air. Like, this is going to be one of your biggest blessings, is what you're going through right now. This regeneration period of your life is going to end up being one of your biggest blessings. And I also felt like grabbing out the bottom card of this deck, and it says peace. You are the egg right now that is incubating and is about to regenerate and birth completely new. So yeah, and you're also getting rid of kind of like negativity again in your life, because peace is when we kind of get rid of the negativity and we return back to compassion and we regenerate ourselves, and we're starting to feel really good and all that. So that makes total sense. Let's go ahead and shuffle one last card onto this. That was easy. Sensuality. You're bringing back your passion, your emotions, feeling good about yourself, feeling confident about yourself and who you are. Your freedom flowing from far away. So maybe we were far from our freedom, but now freedom is flowing back to you. Independence is flowing back to you. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. So that like fun kind of energy is coming back out, just kind of like how we had the monkey, which was all about like, you know, don't take life too seriously, let the inner child back out. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. So this is like you coming back to like this fun energy, this good energy, and it's going to be very transformative and positive for you. So I'm very excited for you, group number 1. That is what we have for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, group number 2, if you chose this beautiful calcite from Mexico, it's like this green blue calcite, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So group 2, here's what we have for you. We start off with the 10 of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Temperance, the Ace of Wands, the Sun, and then the 4 of Wands. So many wand cards, let me tell you. There's a lot of inspiration, creativity, spiritual awakening type energy, and also new opportunity, new ideas coming your way. I'm excited to get into it. But when we start off with the 10 of Swords, there could be something where we're feeling like, I don't know, maybe previously we just got out of like a dark stage, or maybe we're just about to kind of get out of a darker stage. Maybe mentally, like we had a lot going on. The Swords kind of represent our mind, our mentality. And occasionally our mentality can get so strong that we start feeling the physical repercussions of that. Like, you know, when our mind has a lot of anxiety, we can get tired very easily because our mind is racing. Our mentality is like, it's expending emotions and other things that the body stores. It's expending like adrenaline sometimes and all these different things. So we can get tired easier. Sometimes our mentality can, you know, make us feel all sorts of different things. It can even manifest as like physical pain sometimes. You know, we get headaches, we get other things, we get whatever, right? So I think that you guys are kind of just coming out of this kind of phase, this stage where it kind of felt like there's a black cloud looming over you, but then all of a sudden the sunrise starts peeking through and there's going to be new inspiration, new opportunity. There could be something that you've been thinking about that you're like, oh, I really want to bring that into my life. The Page of Wands shows this idea. The pages talk about ideas that we have, and they're also kind of like the messengers. So it's kind of like we keep thinking about something mentally that we're like, oh, I would love to do that. I would love to like start that. I'd love to take action on that. But it's sort of like we're either waiting around, or we don't have the right resources, or we're waiting for something else to happen in order for this idea to happen, because maybe we can't just do it on our own, or maybe we didn't have the right path presenting to ourselves, you know, all sorts of things like that. The Temperance is making me feel a lot of different things. This is about having more balance in your life, finally siphoning your energy to the proper places of where you want your energy to go. So I think that you're going to finally start to put your emotions where they belong, rather than feeling emotionally drained and emotionally defeated and all this kind of stuff. All of a sudden, we're going to be feeding our energy rather towards anxiety, but we're going to be feeding it towards rather where we want it to go, towards inspiration, towards these wands, which signify ideas, inspirations, awakenings. All of a sudden it's kind of like, oh, we were asleep over here and we're defeated, so we can't really see anything. We can't really come up with certain ideas. But the more that we begin to focus our energy towards what inspires us, all of a sudden it's just like we get the answer that we've been seeking, which is really interesting because pile one had sort of a similar message to start off with, but you guys have kind of a different twist to your pile, because I am also seeing in here a possible move or something around your home improvement, or like moving somewhere different, putting your energy somewhere else. All of a sudden we're taking our energy away from this and we're putting it towards the Sun and the Four of Wands, because we're finally getting what we need. We're finally getting the missing piece, because Temperance, she has these two cups and she's sort of like, you know, they're balancing one another. So I almost see that it's almost like these wands, right? Because these wands are on either side of the card. So it's almost like Temperance is the blending of these two different opportunities, these two different ideas. It's almost like, excuse me, I just ate, so like my throat. This happens in readings sometimes lately, and it's just the weirdest thing. My throat's just like making all sorts of noises. But anyway, ideas are sprouting. It's like the spring has come and things are starting to feel alive again, rather than feeling like things are not alive. All of a sudden we're feeling alive again, and we're able to sort of blend these two different ideas together, these two different opportunities, and it's almost like one is the answer to the other and one completes the other, so that we can actually take action on this and start to feel really good. The Sun symbolizes feeling really good, feeling very vibrant. And the Four of Wands is about a very solid foundation. All of a sudden we're creating a solid foundation for ourselves. I'm really picking up on like moving, home life, or a big celebration of some kind. Maybe we've been like working really hard to like get to some place, to get to some outcome. And we're reaching that outcome because the Four of Wands is a celebration where we're feeling really good. It can also, again, symbolize home life, moving, your foundation, what you build upon. So yeah, and Temperance is, it can signify sometimes travel or a journey that's ahead of us. It can sometimes symbolize moving, because you're putting your energy where it used to be into something new, and, you know, moving that energy. So I'm picking up on a move for most of you, or spending your time doing completely different things than what you normally do. taking your energy and putting it into something else because we're getting this new idea that sort of kind of is our answer. It's like, oh, I've been waiting to finally like act upon something or put my energy in something, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what it was going to be. And then all of a sudden the answer comes and it's like, ah, yes, that's exactly what I've been seeking. That's exactly what I've been wanting. I'm going to act upon it. I'm going to go towards it. And then we have the sun, where the sun is shining so much brighter than before, which allows us to grow so much more. This is when we gain clarity. This is when we feel more expressive, when we have more energy. Things are feeling alive, things are feeling good. And we finally have a solid foundation and other people are cheering us on. The Four of Wands is when other people are also congratulating us as well. Something's happening to where people are like, you know, messaging you being like, hey, congratulations, that's amazing, you know? So what is this thing, group 2? This is exciting. I'm stoked about this. And I feel like you're gonna know deep down inside what this is because there's something that you've been like maybe seeking or feeling deep down inside, and all of a sudden you kind of like get the right sort of path, like the path just opens up for you. I'm really seeing just like path opening up, and all of a sudden you're feeling really good, really joyful. The sun I almost see as like this giggling energy coming out, like, I can't believe it, like things feel really good, things feel really great. And then all of a sudden we have like some good energy over here with setting a solid foundation, moving, things like that. So woo! The next couple cards that we have here, we have the commitment card. So maybe there's a celebration because we're either committing ourselves to something, we are meeting our path. This can also signify signing leases, signing documents. This can also be relationship commitments. This could be like, you know, things like that. So there's some sort of like us bonding with another thing. We are committing ourselves to something, again, signing leases, signing contracts, making a big purchase, getting engaged, getting into a relationship, getting married, all sorts of things like that. So there's some sort of commitment that's coming for you. There's some sort of like connection where you're connecting to something that you've been wanting to connect to for a while and taking the next step into it and making something part of your life in a deeper way. We also have unexpected visitors. I think this signifies that there's going to be like unexpected new things popping up into your life. The Ace of Wands symbolize a yes, whereas before we felt kind of defeat, but all of a sudden it's like moving towards a yes. The sun is shining, we're getting where we want to go. People might be coming into our lives that are going to be helping us on our journey. Unexpected people coming into our lives, that could be another aspect of this card. Unexpected outcomes and circumstances that lead us in the right direction. Let's see the next card that we have the Panther card, protection. We're putting up the proper boundaries. We're feeling more protected, more safe, more secure in our new environment, the new foundation that we're creating. So consider who you allow to take your energy and who you give it away to freely. That's interesting because that almost correlates with this unexpected visitors card. So maybe we're also realizing how to set up proper boundaries to where people aren't stealing our energy anymore, because maybe we also felt defeated because maybe we're giving up our energy too freely, too easily, even to negative thoughts, for example. So like unexpected negative thoughts always coming in that are like not our deliberate intent to be thinking about, right? So I think you're also learning how to protect your energy more, how to protect your mentality more, how to protect your physical self more to where we're not feeling drained, we're not feeling like all that kind of stuff. So consider who you allow to take your energy and who you give it away to freely. We need to make conscious decisions of that rather than just like being on autopilot, allowing people to like steal our energy and things like that. The next two cards we have broken open. You are opening up, baby. So this can also talk about us finally allowing our authenticity to shine, allowing our light to shine. As you can see, like the light is like beaming out of her heart. It's kind of like the sun card. It's like the sun is just opening up. We're feeling more authentic than ever. I think that you're gonna finally feel like yourself. And also you won't feel like you need to hide or close off your energy anymore, because when we're feeling this way and we're feeling drained because either our energy is being siphoned away through anxiety, through like other people, things like that, we feel like closing ourselves off because we're trying to hang on to any last drop that we can, any last drop of our vitality that we can, right? And so we're in protection mode, we're hiding ourselves. But there's also an aspect of you that I think is also letting go of protection mode, because I think you're learning how to set proper boundaries to where you're protecting yourself through proper boundaries so that you can feel like you can open up, that you can break open and be authentic and be you and let your light shine, because you're not having to worry about people coming through and stealing it. You're not having to worry about your anxiety taking over. I think you're learning how to protect yourself better from your mind, your physical self, through friendships, through things like that. So all of a sudden, it's like we can finally be ourselves, and it feels so good. So that's looking great. We also have seeing beyond. This is awakening intuition. This can be when we start to finally understand where we're supposed to go. We know where we're supposed to take action on next, because we can see kind of beyond. Whereas before, we're kind of like so battered by the amount of thoughts and emotions and things like that in our life that we're not really seeing beyond, because we're kind of in defeat mode, right? But I think this breaking open sort of energy, I see your chakras opening for one, especially your third eye chakra coming open, where your intuition is going to be stronger. You're going to be able to see through people easier, understand people easier, and being able to see into your future so that you're like, oh, I know what I need to do next. I'm not lost. It's kind of like we're losing the feeling of feeling lost and defeated. All of a sudden, you are awakening to being able to see and understand and gain so much clarity, which makes sense because we had the Sun card too. So lots of clarity coming through. Let's get the next few cards here. We have the card of versatility. So this card is really interesting, because I think you're learning how to better navigate yourself, how to better understand yourself, to become more versatile in certain situations where we're not getting our anxiety through the roof. I think you're learning how to be more adaptable in any situation so that you're not feeling defeat in certain situations. You're really like shifting who you are to be able to live in any environment and do anything, but at the same time, it's like we're still going towards the environment that we'd rather have. Ooh, also the creator. So taking back your creative energy of you being the creator of your life, rather than being a people pleaser, rather than succumbing to your emotions or your mentality or things like that. All of a sudden you feel like you're in control. It's not your mind that's in control. It's not your emotions that's in control. It's not your body that's in control. It's literally you. Your awareness is going to be in control, deciding like, hey, no, I don't want to feel like that today. I'm going to decide to feel like this. I'm going to take control, because, you know, we do have control of our emotions. For me, I meditate in the morning, and even if I wake up kind of like on the wrong foot, when I meditate and I deliberately choose the way that I want to feel by focusing on those emotions and bringing them in more, I literally create my new emotional state. I don't succumb to whatever the universe, or not necessarily universe, but whatever kind of like else is going on, whatever other energies are going on. It's like you take back control. So I see you becoming more of the deliberate creator of your life and being able to choose, like, I want to feel like this today. I want to focus on this today. I want this to happen. You know, it's like you're gaining back control of where you're the creator. And this is also you gaining back control of yourself in the sense of like not letting people kind of decide for you, not letting people walk all over you and make decisions for you and things like that. It's like us learning how to say no in certain circumstances, and us learning how to just take back our power within our own personal life and other parts of our lives. We also have the card, the Explorer. So I think you're going to get more curious and start to kind of step out of your comfort zone. I think before, anxiety held you back from stepping outside of your comfort zone. You really liked being in your comfort zone because, of course, it's comfortable. You're going to start stepping outside of that and getting much more open, broken open. You're opening the door, becoming the creator, feeling protected even though you're more open, but yet you feel protected. You're feeling like the panther. The panther's not scared of anything. Like, you're bringing out that powerful energy within you. We also have the underworld. Oh, I love this card. See how she's like becoming a gem? So it's interesting when we kind of like go through hardship, it's almost like we're underground being put under a lot of pressure, which is the same thing that minerals go to in order to crystallize into the most beautiful crystals. Like this crystal, by the way, naturally grows like this. Like, hold on, let me zoom in on this because this is important. This crystal naturally goes like this. It's not cut like this. This is how it like naturally grew, right? And it's like these beautiful geometric shapes, and it's like freaking stunning. Like, how did our earth make something like this, right? This one's like coated in a rainbow coating, but the actual crystal underneath, which is quartz, grows like this. It's freaking stunning, right? So that only happens when certain minerals get put under so much pressure, and those minerals kind of like form out into beautiful crystalline shapes, and all of them grow into like different shapes. All crystals have like a sort of different shape to them based on what they're made out of. So you're kind of being put under this immense pressure right now through your mind, your emotions, the physical stuff that's been going on. But this is actually making you into a beautiful gem. That's what this has been doing. Like, anything that puts us under immense pressure actually makes us turn out into a beautiful gem. Like, look at even this crystal. Like, look at this. That naturally is like that. But it only happens because it's put under so much pressure, such intense pressure. And again, that's like you right now. The underworld. You're in the underworld right now, becoming the most beautiful gem. That's what's happening. And so I think the universe is like wanting to tell you right now, your guides are coming through, the universe is coming through, being like, hey, this is actually a blessing in disguise. It can be a blessing in disguise. So with that being said, let's go ahead and shuffle this other deck of cards to get any more information on this reading. So group 2, any last information for group 2? Message in a bottle. I think you're going to be either like, there's like a new opportunity coming in, or like an unexpected thing that you're finding. This could be a message from somebody, an opportunity from somebody, an opportunity that you randomly stumble upon and discover, or an idea that's going to really help you push forward to get out of your shell. Yeah. I also think it's like your message. This is also another aspect of this card. Your message is going to get found and heard. Just keep floating along because it's going to get more discovered. It's going to get discovered, right? You also have the Observer. So, I think you're going to be able to really start to take a back seat and observe your life and kind of see like yourself, your reactions, who you are, and begin to actually kind of more deliberately shift that and change that into who you really want to be. I think you're going to like start to observe like who you have been, who you desire to become. For some reason, I'm also seeing a beach between these cards. Like, this card looks like sand and this card looks like water. I don't know if some of you guys are planning to take a vacation. Temperance can sometimes, again, like I said in the beginning, can sometimes indicate travel. I'm kind of seeing like a beach in your future. Yeah. But anyway, I also see you being able to observe your emotions. As you can see, is like observing the moon. The moon resembles our emotions. And I think you're going to finally start to see like, oh, I understand where this emotion was stemming from, where that emotion was stemming from. I see you going through great healing, and also being able to now deliberately decide how you want to feel, what you want to think, rather than letting your emotions and your mind control you. You are not your mind. You are not your emotions. You are not your body. Those are things that we have. We have a mind that thinks. But we can observe our mind. We have awareness over our mind, which means we're not our mind because we can observe the mind. We are not our body because our body functions like literally outside of us. You know what I mean? Like our body has almost a mind of its own, right? It does bodily functions that we don't even know, you know? So we're not our body. We're also not our emotions, because sometimes emotions come up on their own. We can create our emotions though. We can take control over some of our body, most of our body. No, well, not most of it, some of it. We can take control over our mind and our thoughts. You are your awareness. You can observe these things and you can decide how you want to control them, right? So I think you're going to start to learn how to better be in control of yourself rather than yourself being in control of you. Let's see, any last cards for group 2? Any last messages for group 2? I also see you becoming quite psychic. The observer and seeing beyond. I see your like psychic ability is getting deeper and stronger. Your intuition. Ooh, your dreams are gonna be speaking to you. Get a dream journal if you don't have one, or like use your phone or something to like write down things like when you wake up, because your dreams, I think, are going to be giving you messages, and I think you're going to have like kind of psychic intuitions through your dreams. And remember, dreams are symbolic. They're not always like deliberately the exact replica of what's to come. It usually mostly is symbolic. But also with this card, I think that you are finally getting your energy back, finally being able to like sleep through the night. And there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes that allow you to feel more safe, more comfortable. I see kind of like maybe a new home, or redecorating your home, or doing something where you're so much more, and you feel very good about it. Like you feel like you could celebrate. And again, that's like the commitment card is like signing new leases, getting into a relationship, buying a house. It could also be like signing a mortgage, like signing for something. I always say leases just because I'm always like renting places, but like this could also be like signing an actual like mortgage, or signing for a house or whatever. So yeah, it's like you're committing yourself to something, and this is something that's going to give you a very solid foundation. So that is what I'm seeing here. Group number 2. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. Sending you so much love, and hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 3. If you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's hop right into it. All right, group 3, here's what we have going on for you. We have the 7 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, the 8 of Cups, the Emperor, and the Lovers. So when we start off with the 7 of Wands, it can indicate that at the moment, we're kind of dealing with something that is bothering us, or we're getting like critiqued a lot, or we feel like we're being critiqued a lot, or we're critiquing ourselves. There could be people that maybe are jealous of like where we've made it in life, or we kind of feel maybe judged for, you know, how far we've come and things like that. But the 7 of Wands indicates that we've climbed the ladder to a place where maybe, you know, we feel proud of ourselves, but at the same time there's like judgments coming in, or there's something that we're having to like defend ourselves for. Maybe we're having to defend our belief systems. Maybe we're noticing like disagreements are coming up within our family or our friend groups, where we're feeling like, yeah, like we're being critiqued for our way of thinking, or our way of being, or our choices, or again, how far we've made it, and our knowledge and our beliefs. So this card can kind of indicate that that's kind of our current moment, but all of a sudden things are going to be kind of changing, and I think that you're going to kind of take fate and reality, or fate and your destiny, into your own hands. And I think that you're going to be sort of like distancing yourself from these critiques, and this could even be like within your own self. Like maybe this is like self-judgment, kind of being a little bit hard on ourselves, or again, like having to be defensive around other people and things like that, having to defend who we are, having to defend ourselves. That's all kind of like shifting and changing. And I think that you're like, okay, I want to break this pattern. I want to break this cycle. And I think you're going to be like distancing yourself again, like I said, from these situations, because the 8 of Cups is when we sort of leave behind something and we're like, you know what, I'm like better off without this. I'm better off going in a different direction, and like distancing myself from that. So this could be you distancing yourself from negative thinking patterns, negative people, a bad situation. This could even be like leaving a job that maybe we didn't feel appreciated for our work. Instead, we kind of felt like people were judging us too hard or things like that, or like leaving something behind. But either way, you're definitely going to be distancing yourself from certain negativity in your life, because we're realizing, hey, it's no longer healthy and it's kind of like dragging me down and keeping me like super busy and occupied when I could be spending my energy doing something that's more beneficial to myself. So massive shifts. It's interesting because on this card, we also have the eclipse, which signifies massive change. And we do have an eclipse coming. If you're watching this, like soon after I'm making this, April 30th of 2022, we're having a new moon eclipse, new moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus. So this could be signifying that around that time, we're really starting to walk away from our past, from the old ways of being that we once were, from old stuff. So it could be around eclipse time. Again, if you're watching this like a year from now, 2 years from now, and you're not watching this in like within that time frame, we do have other eclipses going on. We have, I think, around 4 eclipses a year, something like that. So yeah, it could be around any of those times. We also have the Emperor right here, and this sort of signifies that after you distance yourself from whatever this is, all of a sudden you're going to be able to use your energy in such a better way. For example, you're going to be encouraging yourself rather than discouraging yourself, rather than critiquing yourself. You're going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to like uplift myself into who I want to be, rather than judging myself all the time. So if I make a mistake, I'd rather encourage myself to be better, but not discourage myself and critique myself and blame myself and judge myself. Instead, like, let's encourage the proper direction. Let's encourage where we want to go, right? So 2 different sort of halves of the same whole, right? And because of that, and because we're also distancing ourselves from other judgments and other people, negativity and things like that, we're going to be on top of our game, because all of a sudden we're not having to like fend ourselves off and like da-da-da-da. All of a sudden it's kind of like we get to sit on our throne. We get to be proud of ourselves, and because of this, you are going to find so much more success, so much more happiness, so much more wisdom, because you'll have sort of, you know, the knowledge of like sticking by yourself and how to like be very sure of yourself. Okay, this is also very connected to Aries, so this also symbolizes a sort of like new beginning. We're walking away from something, then all of a sudden we have a new beginning, but this new beginning is holding with it so much potential, and we feel at our best. We feel like we're in control of our lives. We feel like we're sitting in the power seat of our lives, and we're feeling really good about it. Then the Lovers here, I think that there's going to be new connections that you're making. So I do see like walking away from certain friendships that maybe are not the greatest, maybe distancing yourself from certain people, or again, distancing yourself from this old version of you. Again, it could be all of the above, but through that, you're going to be meeting people that really resonate with you, because you're changing. You are letting go of your old self. You're letting go of people trying to bring you down. Because of that, I see a friendship really blossoming in your life. This could also be a romantic relationship blossoming in your life. But for most of you, I see this a very, very strong, powerful friendship blooming in your life. And this is somebody who's very on your level. This is not somebody who is going to drag you down out of jealousy of who you are. This is somebody who's literally on your level already, and who's going to be very encouraging with you and help you feel even stronger. And again, like not drag you down or make you feel like we have to bring ourselves down, right? This person is going to just be like very resonant with you, and it's going to be a very close connection, very good connection. I also see this as you feeling like you can be authentically open more. Whereas before, like, it's really interesting in the tarot cards, whenever you see naked people, it's because they're learning, or it's because they're being very authentic and very open and very raw. That's what it symbolizes when you have naked people in the tarot. Whenever they're clothed, it kind of means like, you know, they're wearing maybe a little bit of a mask. We're kind of like, you know, trying to be fit in with society, right? Because whenever we wear clothes, it's a societal thing. We're trying to fit in with society and da-da-da-da. Naked people, of course, resemble we're being authentic and open and vulnerable, because we're being our true selves. We're not hiding anything. So this person, you're going to feel like you can absolutely be yourself with. And this person's gonna, I think, share a lot of your same beliefs, or at least encourage you and not discourage you, even if you do disagree on things. It's like you really feel comfortable to be yourself with this person. And it's also allowing you to feel like you are maybe more validated in a way to where even in society, you don't feel like you have to wear a false mask anymore. Like you're getting more comfortable being yourself and being authentic because you're finally stepping into your throne, you're stepping into your power, you're calling your power back rather than letting certain people try to steal it from you. These people were trying to steal your power, steal your light, steal who you are, change who you are. But you're taking your power back by leaving that stuff behind and following a new path. I really think you're following a new path, and it's going to lead you to really, really exciting things. You're literally going to feel on top of your game, and I think you're going to be somehow up-leveling yourself, like heightening your energy, heightening your self-worth, and this is also heightening like sometimes physical worth as well. So, and physical worth, I mean like heightening your money, heightening your amount of money and success in your life. So with that being said, the next two cards that we have Magic Stream coming in. Ooh. So this is almost like magic is leading you down a new path. And this one's reminding me of this Eight of Cups because you can see the water through here and she's kind of like following this new path. So this is reminding me of you being in the flow and following like a new path. It's sort of just like guiding you somewhere and you feel like, hey, I'm supposed to go down this new route. Like you feel comfortable and positive, like leaving behind this negativity. I don't feel like you have regret with it. Of course, like it's a little bit bittersweet because we have emotional maybe attachment to that, but at the same time we're ready to let that go. And we're following this new emotions. I think your intuition, your emotions are really guiding you somewhere else, and it almost feels like you're in a flow state and you're just kind of going with the flow. And it feels right. It feels right to follow that. So that's what the Magic Stream is. Then we also have Wide Open. Yes, this reminds me of that open authenticity that I'm talking about with the Lovers card. Feeling like you can be wide open and that you're not being attacked too, because look at, it's like they're standing on that same sort of like ledge here, but in the previous ledge that he's standing on, he's like being bombarded by like all of these other challenges, obstacles, thoughts, opinions, judgments, critiques, all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden it feels like we can stand on our rock and there's no judgments, no critiques, no self-deprecation, no like things coming at us. We feel like we can be ourselves and not be attacked for it. We feel like, oh, I feel so much better, like, ah. And maybe it's just us letting go of the fact that we used to even pay attention to judgment. So maybe we're not even necessarily needing to walk away from an old thing, but maybe it's just the fact that we feel like, hey, I don't even feel like I need to pay attention to these judgments, and I feel like I can be wide open, and those just naturally fall away. Once we stop paying attention to them, once we stop feeding into it, they naturally just fall away, because it's like all of a sudden they're just going to be, all their efforts are going to be effortless. Like if we stop fighting them, they're going to have nothing to fight. Right? It's kind of like someone showing up to battle and nobody wants to fight them. They're just like, why are you here? Like, put down your, like, we don't care, you know? So it's like they naturally kind of just fall away once we stop paying attention to it. And I think that you're realizing like, hey, I don't want to feed my energy into those things. And I think you're really going to just stop focusing on it. I think you're just going to completely shift your life and spin a new wheel, spin a new fortune, which is spinning your sort of like path. It's like you're changing your path and really going in a new direction. This is also changing your perspective too. The Wheel of Fortune can be changing your perspective. And all of a sudden it's like we're walking down a new path, and this new path is helping us feel our best, and we're finally making new connections and also feeling like we can be wide open and vulnerable. Whew. So with that being said, our next card, we have the Shadow Work card, which is the Fox. There are no shadows without light. So you shining your light, of course, it's going to create shadows. It's going to create, you know, negativity by you shining your light, because there's always the opposite. There's always going to be people that don't like who we are, and there's always going to be people that do like who we are. There's always going to be, we can't please everybody, right? And so in shadow work, we kind of realize, hey, I can't please everybody. Why am I even trying to please them? Why am I even trying to reach perfection? You know, because the Seven of Wands can also be when we expect ourselves to be perfect. Therefore, we take all these critiques to heart and we're just like, oh my God, I need to change. I've been doing something wrong. It's like, no, you haven't. You haven't been doing anything wrong. It's like, you're just being yourself. And if there's going to be people that are offended by that. There's going to be all sorts of judgments that you can make upon any choice that you make in your life. Any choice that you ever make, you could find a way to judge that and not make it good. So the shadow work is when we realize there are no shadows without light. You cannot get rid of the shadows in your life. You cannot get rid of them entirely. You can change those shadows to like evolve and grow and transform into who you want to be as you grow in this world. Because as you grow, of course, there's going to be changes that you want to make, and that's fine. But we don't need to like be harsh with ourselves and judge ourselves constantly and da 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 da. I think that you're going to start going with the flow and not damming up your river. Because look at this, is like a whole dam in front of us. Like, we can't flow like that. But the flow is coming back into your life because you're leaving that behind. You're leaving the dam behind. And now you can be wide open. And now you realize like, hey, like I've done the shadow work. I've realized that like I can't please everybody and I'm not about to do that. And then all of a sudden things start flowing again. And again, you're going to be making some really important connections. Really important connections. They're going to be very significant and very encouraging and very amazing. So, whew. The next two cards that we have here for you, we have smoke and mirrors. Ooh. So I think the smoke is finally going away and we're able to sort of see who we really are, to become who we really are. There's another message I'm getting in this card, so we might come back to this one in a second, but yeah, for some reason I'm like, the universe is like, there's something else in here. We're going to come back to that. We also have a higher view. Ooh, and it's kind of like being wide open, standing on the top of the cliff there, being able to kind of like observe ourselves better. Also, this is you getting to a higher place, which makes sense with the Emperor as well, because before we were putting ourselves in a scenario, we were literally putting ourselves lower where we could feel attacked, feel this, feel that. But when you mentally and emotionally put yourself at a place where you're like, you know, I don't even feed into that. I'm not even gonna allow myself to be triggered by that because I can't please everybody. So it's that shadow work of realizing like, hey, I can't please everybody. So I'm just gonna not care about what they think. And I'm gonna do what I know is best for me. And that's the best anyone can ever ask of me. That is you taking that higher view where all of a sudden you cannot be attacked anymore. You can't be judged for who you are. All you can do is just like, hey, I'm doing my best. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. We don't need to bring ourselves down. We don't need to waste our energy looming on it, you know? So I really think you're getting to a much higher place in your life. And I also think by doing this, you're getting to this Emperor level where you feel your best. And because of that, new opportunity is going to be coming your way. And more abundance is coming your way, more security, more surety of who you are, like a deeper understanding of who you are. It's going to be very solid. I'm also gathering in this card that you're going to be able to like sort of deter old judgments, like smoke and mirrors. It's almost like we're able to sort of deter the focus being on us all the time. And sort of be able to start focusing on other things where we can feel authentically ourselves and we're not constantly judging ourselves. So it's almost like we're able to kind of deter that energy. I'm also gathering in here, we're realizing like I can't let other people's judgments over me dictate who I am, because it's you who knows yourself best. So we can't listen to other people being like, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, or you're that. You know yourself best, and you can also decide who you are and what you want to be. You get to wake up every day being like, I'm this and I'm that. You get to decide that, not other people. And so I also think you're realizing that anytime people judge you, that's a complete delusion, because they don't know who you are the way that you know who you are. Of course, it's good to have self-reflection and think like, oh, is there any truth to that? But at the same time, it's like, I think you're going to become to know thyself so strongly to where all of a sudden this stuff is like, that doesn't even bother me because I know myself better. So yeah, it's another aspect that I'm getting from smoke and mirrors. The next card that we have some soul work. We have the shadow work card and the soul work card, which is really interesting because I did a reading recently that had kind of like both of these cards as well, except the shadow work card was like from a different deck. But that's really interesting. I'm super curious if you guys watched that video and chose the pile that also had that in there. But it's like you're really putting in the work and you're becoming that diamond here. The bee has a diamond on his back. So it's kind of like you're becoming this shiny, like you're really starting to refine who you are. Getting rid of the rough edges and finally creating your own honey. It's where we're not needing honey from anybody else. We're becoming the creator of our own honey, of our own energy, of our own worth, and our own goodness. We also have the Get Curious card. I think you're going to become more adventurous. And more like curious about life rather than letting life kind of like control you. It's kind of like you're becoming more explorative and adventurous. Also, the Eight of Cups can sometimes symbolize that we're like, because we're going through such a big transition and leaving something behind, it can sometimes indicate that we're going on a travel or a trip to kind of get away from something. So we might get curious and kind of like, you know, step outside of our regular comfort zones and maybe go somewhere where we haven't been before, or finally spread our wings and try new things. I think you're trying new things, getting yourself out there and experimenting with life. And again, yeah, like doing things that you haven't done before, being vulnerable and things like that. We also have Dare to Dream. I mean, you're really starting to step outside of your regular comfort zones. And I think because of that, you're realizing like, hey, I can dream bigger than I have before. And it's interesting that this bee was carrying a diamond on his back, and then we have the claw carrying this diamond right here in this card. So it's kind of like you are grabbing hold of opportunities that maybe you didn't think you were worth before. Maybe we didn't think that we were worthy of that because we were allowing other people to drag us down. So we're not even taking certain opportunities because we're like, well, blah, blah, blah is going to judge me for that. Or like, I am judging myself for that. Or like, da, 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 da. Am I even worthy of that? I'm not, because other people say I'm not and other people make me feel like I'm not. I think that you're realizing like, hey, I'm actually worthy of those things and I can actually go for those and have those in my life. And because of that, you're actually finally like grabbing hold of opportunities that you never thought that you could take before. So this makes sense with that Emperor card. You're finally like stepping up to your throne of knowing your worth. So I think you're going to start dreaming bigger, opening yourself up to much more possibilities, grabbing a higher view, realizing like, hey, I am worthy of that. You know, it doesn't matter what your past is, doesn't matter like how other people think of you. That stuff doesn't matter at all. This is about what you think of yourself and what you allow yourself to go for and have and dream of, right? You get to decide your own worthiness. So that's a huge thing that's going to be shifting for you. So with that being said, let's get into some more cards here. So group 3, what else do we have going on for group 3? What other blessings? You're going to become much more adaptable in your environment, that is for sure. You're going to be able to adapt to situations so much easier, whereas before it might have been like hard. You might also like take up like a yoga practice or like working out or something to do with your body being healthier and better and more flexible, more energized, more strong. But again, that can also symbolize mentally we're becoming that way. We're mentally becoming more flexible, more allowing, more open, where we don't get hurt by things. Because when we're closed off and we're really like have walls up, when somebody comes knocking on those walls, we feel it. But when we're so flexible, we're so open, you know, somebody can like knock on us, and because we're so flexible, it's like we barely feel it. It's like, okay, you know, it's like trying to punch a noodle versus trying to punch a wall. If you punch a noodle, it's so flexible. It's so, well, at least if it's like a cooked noodle, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be so flexible that it just flaps away, and it doesn't really get harmed by that. Unless again, you put the noodle in front of a wall. When we have walls up, when we're not flexible, that is when we can get damaged. That is when we can get triggered. So I think that you're becoming more flexible. I don't know why I just used the example of punching a noodle. It's so weird. Anyway, you're becoming a flexible noodle, my love. And oh my gosh. It is allowing you to live life so much more freely. Yeah. Anyway, the next card we have is Chop Wood. Oh, and we have another one in here. New life. Yeah, so you're creating a brand new life for yourself, that is for sure. There's a new beginning coming up where all of a sudden it's like, hey, I can dream bigger. I can go for these big things that I actually desire, not be feeling like I'm like held back from them or judged for them or like I can't do it. And then we also have chop wood. So this is when we start putting in the work for like other things that maybe we didn't feel like we were worthy of before, but now we're like, hey, I can actually like put in the work here. I can actually do this. And I also see this as you putting in the work for like self-improvement, wanting to improve yourself more, wanting to put in the work here. This is being more disciplined in your life of like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But it's of course like we're staying flexible, but we're also disciplining ourselves of like, hey, this is my new life, these are my new desires, and I'm gonna like put in the effort to make it happen. Like we're wanting to get there, we're wanting to do it. So with that being said, we're going to pop on one last card here. So group 3, I'm feeling this one for you. Ooh, you are awakening your magical abilities. You're the phoenix rising from the ashes. You're realizing that your true power has been hidden underneath all along, and now it's finally able to like come out through this sort of like, you know, all the destruction that you've had to go through your mind, other people's opinions, things like that. And because of that, you're this phoenix rising through the ashes of like realizing like you're stronger than ever. This made you stronger than ever. People were trying to bring you down, but instead they made you stronger than ever, more flexible than ever. They popped you into this new life, which you would have never reached otherwise, right? They gave you so much to work on within yourself, within your soul, that now you are this amazing, beautiful phoenix rising from the ashes, baby. So that is what I see for you, group number 3. Lots of transformation in the beautiful, most beautiful ways. New connections being had, like I was saying, really important person coming into your life after you kind of go through this. And they're also going to be that beautiful phoenix who uplifts you in amazing ways, and you get to be phoenixes together. So it's gonna be great. Sending you guys all my love, group number 3. Hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, group number 4, if you chose this pile, this is gonna be about the blessings that are coming into your life. So let's hop right into it. So group 4, we have the 2 of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the 4 of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Magician right here. So the blessings that are coming for you, you're going to start to open up so much more. There's maybe something that you didn't feel like you were worthy of, or maybe we're even like closing off our heart a little bit, or closing off like, I don't know, part of like our desires. Maybe we were like, oh, I'm not worthy of that. Like, I don't see that path opening up for me. It's like these beliefs, because the swords symbolize our mind, our mentality, and things like that. So it can be our beliefs. I think there's certain beliefs that have been standing in your way of something that you've been maybe wanting to do, this like idea that you've had, or even from like speaking your mind. This could be something to deal with speaking your mind on something that we've been like closing ourselves off of. We're like, no, don't do that. Like, or like, don't dream too big, because like, I don't see that happening for myself, and da-da-da-da-da. Something has been holding you back from living the life that you really deeply want to live. You either don't think you're worthy of it, or you don't even think it's possible. We don't even think that there's a path that could happen for us, or we're thinking like, oh, that's like so much work. I don't even think it's possible. Like, there's these beliefs that are standing in your way of this thought that you're having. The Ace of Swords symbolizes like an idea, a thought that's coming through. It symbolizes our ability to communicate, our ability to grab hold of something and be like, yep, and claim it, right? So yeah, the Ace of Swords can also sometimes deal with like signing contracts and things like that. So there could be something that we're like, oh, I don't even feel like I'm worthy of that. I might not even, like, let's not even dream of that. I'm feeling it's more along the lines of like an idea that you have limiting beliefs around. But I think you're going to start to really like contemplate it and think about it. I think that there might be a conversation or something, some kind of like conversation or some sort of thought that just kind of like comes to you that you're going to be contemplating and thinking about, and you're going to like take a moment and be like, wait a minute, let me think about this. And through this meditation and contemplation on this idea, I think you're going to start to realize, hey, I think there are ways of making this happen. There are ways of getting to what you desire, and realizing, hey, you know what, I think I am worthy. I'm just the same as everybody else. Like, and other people get what they want. Other people get to their goal. Why can't I? There's no reason why you can't. And I think you're going to start to realize, hey, those are limiting beliefs that I've had, and they've been working against you. As you can see, she's like closing off her heart. She's closing off even her eyes, her vision. She's not even open to seeing the possibility because she's blindfolded through her beliefs. Her beliefs are making her blindfolded. But it's interesting because the swords, they're double-edged, they're duality. And so what that means is there's the limiting belief, but there's also the freeing belief. Beliefs are two-sided. They're two sides of the same spectrum. So we could either use our beliefs to hold us back and prevent us from going forward, or we could use our beliefs to free us, because she could also take one of those swords and completely cut away her blindfold, which means that she could change her mind, change her perspective, because the sword, it's sharp on this end and it's sharp on this end. So you could shift your perspective. There are two sides of the same whole. So instead of being like, I'm not worthy, there's also the belief of, I am worthy. And that belief can free you from not seeing your future, from not seeing a possibility, from not seeing a path, from not seeing a way. Once you start telling yourself a different story, once you start telling yourself a different belief, it will literally free you. It will make your sight able to perceive of that path, of that reality. It exists, but the only reason why you're not seeing it right now is because your beliefs are completely blocking it. Okay? But then all of a sudden we're using the sword, we're like grabbing hold of the sword and we're like, I'm taking the opportunity and I'm using it to my benefit. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's like freeing you. You could almost see this crown as kind of like almost the blindfold, and it's like removing it. It's like, phew, F that blindfold. You know, like we're using it finally to our advantage. And then we're meditating because all of a sudden we can see now. And then maybe we're thinking to ourselves and contemplating like, oh, I finally removed that blindfold. Let me like take a moment. And there could be a moment where we want to like put the blindfold back on, where we might have self-doubt creep up again. But I really see you working through this. And your biggest blessing is the fact that you're going to be working through this. And then you're going to be meditating on it. You're going to be thinking about it. And the deeper that you think about this, the more that you explore this within your own mind, within exploring the possibilities through different stories that you can read about, things like that, different things that you can look into, you're going to start to realize like, hey, I think I really can do this. The Queen of Cups is somebody who becomes nurturing, and she nurtures her ideas to life. She creates the flow of that by following her emotions. Her emotions become so strong that she's like, I have this desire, I really want to go for it, and she nurtures it till it blooms. And she's also somebody who's learned from her past mistakes. She's gone through so much, because like the original depiction of the Queen of Swords is this woman who's sitting on her throne, and she has all these like smoothed out stones or rocks beneath her, and that shows that she got smoothed by the river that's behind her. So she became someone who's no longer destructive and things like that. She's becoming somebody who's nurturing, smoothed out through all of her experiences, and realizing that those experiences helped brought her to where she is. So all of your current experiences are bringing you to this new moment of where you're finally realizing who you really are, what you're really worthy of, and what you can really create. And you can create anything. As you can see, she's also sitting in like a clamshell chair, signifying that she's the pearl. You started off as a grain of sand and you became a pearl. You know what I mean? Like, this is you realizing that you have the potential to become a pearl. It depends how you nurture yourself. You're sitting in that clamshell, and I think clamshells make pearls out of sand, or maybe that's like a myth or something, but either way, just for the sake of this example, we're gonna say that, because we all know that clams or mussels or whatever they are, make pearls in them. So it's kind of like, you know, you started off as a grain of sand. Any sand can become a pearl if given the right circumstances, if fallen into the right things. And it's not by chance. It's kind of like where our emotions guide us, where the river guides us. So if we're in the right emotional state, we're going to be going along with the flow in the right direction to where we end up in the exact place that we want it to be. You are that pearl. You've been that pearl all along. You've always had that potential within you. This is you finally realizing your potential. This is you finally realizing it. You're not just a grain of sand who doesn't have legs and arms that can like, you're like the grain of sand that literally has legs and arms and its own mind that can go off into the shell to become a pearl. That is you. And then all of a sudden it's like she's wearing her, what used to be a blindfold, and now it's like her crown. Your blindfold, which once blinded you, becomes your reason to become a crown. It's like a double-edged thing, right? Even the magician is wearing that sort of like crown thing. I don't know why that's really sticking out to me right now, but I think it's because your belief systems that used to blind you, that used to tell you you were not worthy, are all of a sudden going to flip and become the other side of the coin, where now you're like, oh, I am worthy. I'm worthy of anything that I desire. And that becomes like your crown that you wear. And the magician is one of the most magical cards of tarot because it signifies manifestation. It signifies having an idea. The wand that he holds up to the sky is him siphoning his idea, something that's not physical, taking something that's up in the air, that's just a thought or idea, and you can see he's pointing down at the earth because he's taking that idea and manifesting it into physical reality. That's what that means. And he has the cup, the pentacle, the sword, and the wand sitting on the table, which means he has everything that he needs, which means you have everything that you need. You have the thought, the idea, which is the sword. You have the wand, which is the inspiration, the passion. You have the cup, which is your emotional guidance system that leads you on the right path. And you have the pentacle, which is the physical you and the physical reality that you reside in that has all the material to make that manifestation come to life. You have everything you need to make your manifestation become physical reality. And you're gonna begin manifesting it, baby, because you're realizing your worth, you're realizing who you really are and that you can make it happen. And that belief alone is enough to actually bring you there if you're actually willing to take the action on it, okay? But the belief is everything. If you don't have the belief, no matter how much action you take, you're not gonna get there because that action will be aimless. If you don't believe you're actually gonna get there, of course you're not gonna take the action on it. But if you even have an inkling like, I think that could be possible, you're gonna try. And the more that you're able to overcome obstacle, so regardless of the obstacles that you reach, things like that, if you have enough willpower and determination and belief, you're gonna overcome any obstacle. That's all you need. Those are the 3 ingredients that you need. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take our next couple cards. We have cleaning house. Ooh, yeah, you are getting rid of some old junk that was standing in the way. This can be physically, but also mentally within your own mind. So you're cleaning up your own mind from all of this clutter, all of this old stuff, all these old belief systems that no longer serve you. Because the only reason why we ever do like spring cleaning and we get rid of stuff is because there's stuff that no longer serves us. It has no purpose. That's why we get rid of it. It's like, oh, I don't wear that piece of clothing anymore. Might as well get rid of it. It doesn't serve me in any way. This is you decluttering your own mind. You're like, that belief system, why am I hanging on to that? That does not serve me. That's in fact hindering me when I could replace it with a different belief, one that does serve me. So what beliefs do you want to wear? What thoughts do you want to wear? What emotions do you want to wear? This is time to clean up you. And this could also be cleaning up your physical home, your physical reality, because that's also decluttering in a way. It helps us think better and have better energy flow. When you have a bunch of clutter around, the energy has a really hard time flowing. So I see you making more room mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Ooh, and then we have the card of movement. I think you're finally going to start taking action on something, and it's going to bring you to your manifestation because you're finally taking action on it, because you're finally, again, getting rid of limiting beliefs and replacing them with like, oh, I can and I know that I will. And then you're finally taking that action to go in that direction, to get yourself there. Can I just say, guys, I'm like so proud of you. Those of you who chose this pile, like I'm so proud of you. I love this. I love this. You're gonna actually like really, you're gonna make big things happen, baby. Pile number 4. The next card that we have is Peacock. Self-love, showing your worth. You were a peacock all along who believed that they were not. It's kind of like, have you ever seen like the lion that was raised among the sheep, like that story? If a lion is raised among sheep before he even realizes he's a lion, before he's ever told he's a lion, he's gonna think he's sheep all along. And he'll never realize, like for example, if a pack of lions come along and all the sheep are running, since he thinks he's a sheep, he's going to be running from them too. He's going to be like, oh my God, this is all scary. Ah. Like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. Little do you know, you've been a lion all along. Like, it's sort of that vibe, right? It doesn't mean that like other people that you're surrounded by are sheep. They're not. All of us have that potential, but we've been told, we've been fed the illusion that we're not enough and that we can't do it. But I've seen humans do the unspeakable all the time. There's countless stories of it. And guess what? You're also human, which means you have all those capabilities within you. You know what's interesting is, like, say a lion, you like takes down like this is like a sad story. I don't know why I'm going to this example, but whatever. We're just going to use this example because we're on the example of lions. Say a lion takes down an elephant, but other lions were like, oh, like, we can't do that. Like, no one's ever taken down an elephant before, right? And all the lions are like, whoa, that's crazy. But also when they realize, like, hey, that lion did that, the lions also, like, we as humans, when we observe that, we're like, whoa, lions can actually do that. If they really have the courage, the willpower, and the determination to do that, all lions can do that. If one lion does it, that pretty much means, like, any other lion could do that if they build up the strength, the courage, and the determination, if the right circumstances sort of, like, you know, fall on them. But we realize that, hey, animals can do that. But when like a certain human does something that's like, whoa, that's crazy, we always think like, oh, I can't do that. But it's like, hey, you could if you just did the things. Like, for example, doing the splits. We all know that because other people can do the splits, we could probably do them too if we really put our mind to it, da-da-da-da-da. You can do these things too. Humans are doing the unspeakable all the time. They're getting to those certain dreams, those desires all the time. You have that capability too, okay? I don't know, weird example, but like, hopefully you get the point. But yeah, self-love. Time to celebrate you and all of your magnificent light. Yes, instead of closing off your light, feeling like you're unworthy, feeling like you can't do what you want to do, it's time to be a peacock and start showing off who you are and realizing like, hey, I can do that. I have that capability. You do, my love. Group 4. It's also interesting you chose rose quartz because rose quartz is all about self-love, and then you had the self-love card, so like that's just really fitting right there. So yeah, the next couple cards that we have here, we have great and full. This is reaching a big achievement. This is also filling up your own cup and realizing like, hey, I'm very worthy. You're as worthy as anybody. You're starting to fill your own cup with that self-love, and that's going to be what brings that movement back to you. Of realizing like, hey, I can do that, and I'm just gonna go do it. No longer sitting around waiting for it. You know what I mean? We also have uncharted sea. I think you're gonna start exploring options that you never thought that you could explore before. This is opening up a brand, like all the new possibility for you, group 4. Possibility that you never thought, again, that you never even contemplated certain things because you always thought like oh, I can't do that anyway. So you never even like thought of it, right? Like, like it's like thinking, oh, I'm stuck. I'll never be able to make like $100,000 a year. I'll never be able to make like $500,000 a year. Like you probably never even fathomed or even had the thought of like, should I try to do that? Like you probably never even like had that idea across your mind because we've already had those beliefs that are stuck there. That's just an example, by the way. Like, that's just an example, for example. So all of a sudden you're realizing like, hey, it's time to explore ideas that I would have never even considered for myself before. You're realizing that you are worthy of them. Therefore, again, like I said, you're going to be exploring ideas that you would have never thought of. And going places, I think it's actually going to cause you to move yourself and take action in these directions. And you're probably going to get to places soon, like very soon, where you're going to be looking back and being like, I can't even believe that I've come this far already. Oh my God, like this is crazy. This is gnarly. Whoa. So yeah, it's like, I think you're going to be able to do big things that you would have never even thought you were capable of. Okay, so the next few cards we have the Observer. This is like you looking back onto your past being like, whoa. Whoa. And this is also you taking control of yourself. As you can see, the strings tied to her hands. It's almost like you are observing yourself and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna start pulling myself in this new direction. I'm gonna start using my awareness to pull my mind in the direction that serves me rather than disserves me. I'm gonna start pulling it out of the gutter, out of the negativity, out of the limiting beliefs, out of the blindfold. I'm gonna start pulling my emotions in the right direction where I feel good about this and da 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 da. It's like you're starting to observe yourself and also starting to use your awareness to pull yourself in the right direction. Ooh, we also have fate. So you're like this egg that hasn't hatched yet, and all of a sudden you're gonna be hatching and realizing like, hey, you have these desires because you're fated to chase after them. That is why we are born with desires, is because our soul came here to experience those desires. So we have desires because it's your soul's way of telling you, that's what I came here to experience, let's go do it. It's like your soul literally incarnates on earth, and it has a certain like emotional guidance system. It has certain desires and passions, which are different than most people. Like not everybody has the exact same desire, you know what I mean? You came here with those desires because that's literally been your fate, but you've been this unhatched egg that's keeping yourself in your shell. But it's like realizing like, hey, your soul came here with those desires because your soul knew that you have the ability to experience them. You have that ability, otherwise you'd never have the desire. There's people all the time that have certain desires where they have certain disabilities that stop them from those desires. Like for example, like that one pianist who's blind. It's hard to be a pianist, a very famous pianist at that, being blind. For some reason I forgot his name right now, but you know, you've probably heard of him before, right? And there's also people who've like done other unthinkable things. For example, like people who are born deaf. If nobody believed it was even possible to find a way to make those people hear, we would have never even explored those options. But we knew, hey, we got to find a way. We got to find a way. Somebody woke up one day and they're like, you know, I'm going to find a way. I got to find a way. So this is almost you waking up and realizing like, hey, get rid of these limiting beliefs. I'm going to find a way to make my reality happen because you have the ability. You have it. So yes, getting aggressive in this reading now. But anyway, transmute. So now we're finally transmuting those old limiting beliefs into something that serves us, into something that we could work towards, the worker bee here. We're transmuting our old thoughts, our old beliefs, our old habits, our old everything into something that serves us. We're transmuting lead into gold. We once thought we were lead, but guess what? We could transmute it to gold. Alchemy, right, baby? So the transmutation of who you used to be into who you could be and who you're going to be, who you're going to create yourself to be. So with that being said, let's go ahead and shuffle these cards to get any more information on this reading. Time to go. It's time to take action. Time to take action. I see you really going for it, leaving behind the old and realizing, you know, it's now or never. And we could limit ourselves with any sort of belief. We can be like, oh, I'm too old to start that now, or like, I'm too whatever to start that. Like, you can do anything that you put your mind to, and it's time to go. It's time to go after it. Ooh, and then we have soulmates. This, for one, could be you unlocking the key to your dream. This is you realizing your soul, and your soul finally like coming through and being like, hey, thank you so much for giving me a chance to experience this, rather than letting society get in the way of what my soul came here to experience. This is your soul kind of like coming down and thanking you, being like, thank you for finally listening to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, ah. But I also see this as you making the right connections. This can also be about you finding your soulmate and realizing like, hey, I'm worthy of that, so I'm not going to settle for anything less. I'm going to go after like what my soul really, 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 really wants and deserves. This is the key to your heart. You're finally realizing the key to your heart has been following what your soul has been yearning for. Let's go ahead and get one last card on this reading. So group 4. Oh, look at this. It's like the soulmate card, but in a different way. So this one is true love, come to me. True love shall come to me, as I do will, so mote it be. So you're finally calling to you what love really is. Like, we can have love and passion for, you know, a career. We can have love and passion for an experience. We can have love and passion for a person, right? So I think that you're finally calling in your true passions, what your soul really wants to experience, the love of life, the love of another person, the deep love that you deserve to feel and create and experience in this lifetime. Group number 4, you are finally connecting to that. It is no wonder that you are drawn to rose quartz, because rose quartz is all of this energy, and it helps us bring in that self-love. It also helps us bring in romance and things like that. So yes, group number 4, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. I'm sending you all of my love, and hopefully I see you in my next one.